Part 2. Then we have a JB and Raven segment where JB just asks Raven why he just did what he did to Abyss. Can no one just do something on this show without JB asking them why they did it, okay? He did it because he wanted to. Who gives a shit? Raven did his usual shtick and then quoted Edgar Allan Poe, as he often does. Then we had Angelina Love versus Sojourner Bolt for the Knockouts title. This match was not very good, but it was, it wasn't offensive. I know I said the wrestling was good on the show. What I really meant was the last two matches were pretty good, but yeah, this was okay. I thought the first three matches were all okay. I thought they were going to make Angelina Love seem like a strong champion by have her just dominate Sojourner Bolt here, as she does for some time during the match. But actually they just want to make her look really weak and look like she can't even beat Sojo, who is rubbish. So Sojo comes back into the match, hits some limited offense, and then Angelina Love has to win by cheating when Madison Rayne distracts the referee. Velvet Sky throws her the hairspray. She sprays Sojo in the eyes. Interestingly, that managed to finish off Awesome Kong on its own, but on Sojo she also has to hit the lights out for the victory. Then we get a fairly entertaining Angelina Love promo. I have to say Angelina Love promos are pretty much the highlight of TNA Impact these days. I think she is very good on the mic. I think she's very entertaining. Basically she just asks Cute Kip why he's still hanging around with them, because she's already fired him and because he lost that stretcher match to Awesome Kong. And then she says he's an embarrassment to TNA and to himself, which I thought was kind of harsh considering this is actually him retiring right now. And then she gets security to take him away because she claims he's a stalker, which I all found very funny. After that she goes on a different note by saying she's tired of beating the same knockouts over and over again. And like Vladimir Kozlov before her, she demands better competition. Yeah, her challenge is answered by Victoria, who makes her TNA debut, which I was happy to see because I like Victoria. This is the only debut I really cared about. I think she still has something to offer. She's not just washed up. And she comes out, she attacks each member of the Beautiful People in turn. It was like one of those martial arts movies where you're just like, why don't you just all attack her at once, then you can beat her. But yeah, she beats up Rain, then Sky, and finally Love, where she hits the Widow's Peak and accepts Angelina Love's challenge. Then we had a little backstage segment where Eric Young talks about how he's been mistreated over the years, again mentioning the Danny Bonaducci thing. Then we have another pointless segment, Motor City Machine Guns and Lethal Consequences, talking about how they still want to know who Suicide is. Not only was this pointless, but they let Jay Lethal do the promo. Yeah, it's a fairly entertaining impression of the Macho Man, right? That doesn't mean you're good at promo. Just give it to the Machine Guns, who are great at promo. I mean Shelley, obviously, not Sabin. Then we had Mick Foley promo. I thought this was very good. I really enjoyed this promo. It made the match at the King of the Mountain match look a little bit better for me. Foley talks about how he's had a rough week talking to TNA, the other TNA shareholders. He says he's annoyed that he's been put in this match at Slammiversary, where the odds are heavily stacked against him. But he says the company needs him to remain champion, and also wrestling needs him to remain champion, which is not true, and he knows it, which I found kind of funny. And but he says, although my soul is willing to defend this title at any time, my body is simply not able, which is totally true and is why they should never have made him champion. But and yeah, so he says that after this defense at Slammiversary, I'm only going to defend this once a year, which is good. It added a bit of peril to the title. It made sense. Yeah, I like this a lot. And yeah, we all know he's not going to win at Slammiversary anyway. If he wins at Slammiversary, then that is colossally bad booking, horrifyingly bad. But I don't even think he can climb a ladder. I really don't. In fact, I'd put a bit of money on it. Same with Mark Henry. He definitely can't climb a ladder. That was proven. Okay, then we had JB interviewing Daniels and AJ. Just basically because they're facing each other tonight in a King of the Mountain qualifier. And Samoa Joe comes in and says he wants to be friends with AJ, Again, are they trying to turn Samoa Joe face while also having him say he's going to murder someone? That's not a good combination for me, but there you go. Then we had Eric Young versus Jeff Jarrett. This is the first King of the Mountain qualifying match, and I think we know who's going to win. I thought this was a pretty good match. Eric Young ended up looking quite good. Jarrett didn't look terribly weak. They traded drop kicks at the start. Eric Young gets the advantage, then Jarrett comes back. He hits the stroke actually, and Young doesn't kick out, but he puts his foot on the ropes. But the thing was, he put his foot on the ropes like before one was counted by the ref, which was just like a total no sell. But yeah, he just got his timing a bit off there. In the end, Eric Young goes for a wheelbarrow suplex. Jarrett reverses into a pin for the win. After the match, Eric shakes Jeff Jarrett's hand. Jeff Jarrett brings him back into the ring and sort of celebrates with him in a patronizing way and does a, "Oh, well done, you only just lost to me." So Eric Young correctly attacks Jeff Jarrett, and yeah, then we get JB asking Eric Young why he did that. Fuck off, JB. Then we had possibly the most pointless segment I've ever seen in my life. It was Team 3D presenting the trophies for the Team 3D Tag Team Invitational Cup thing to Beer Money and the Czech. So Beer Money come out, and surely this is just the start of the feud, where Beer Money attack Team 3D after all, show that they really are heels, etc, etc. Because in commentary, sorry, that's Bobby texting me about Mr. Kennedy. In commentary, you know, Mike Tenay is still describing Beer Money as though they're heels. But yeah, anyway, so they present them with the trophies, present them with the check, and Beer Money just take it, and then they share beers together. What the fuck was the point? You know, you've got to attack each other at this point. So yeah, it was just TNA, once again, saying how great they are because, you know, there's tag team wrestling in TNA, which, you know, is kind of something to be proud of because no one else is doing it, but really is not something to be proud of because you should be doing tag team wrestling. Tag team wrestling is an obvious thing to happen. Anyway, then we had the main event, the second King of the Mountain qualifier between Daniels and AJ Styles. This was very good. This was a very good match. They were playing up the idea that both know each other so well. My main problem with this match is I want both of them to be in King of the Mountain. I think Daniels deserves that push, but, you know, whatever. Basically, they both know each other, so they were both countering each other's moves, which I thought was really good. And they were doing a sort of anything you can do, I can do better. So, you know, they both did neck breakers one after the other, and they both did high flying moves. Daniels did the split-legged moonsault to the outside, and then Daniels went for a high crossbody and missed, and AJ hit the flying forearm. In the end, they trade. Daniels goes for the BME, and AJ hits him with a Pele kick, and then they both go for the finisher. AJ goes for the Styles Clash. Daniels goes for Angel's Wings. AJ hits a Hurricane Rana into a pin and gets the 3 count, you know, so it didn't make Daniels look too weak. It was sort of like, you know, a pinning combination victory. It didn't make Daniels look terrible or anything. It wasn't, you know, just a straightforward loss. After the match, they shake hands, show they're still friends, and then Shane, the franchise Douglas, appears. Who gives a shit? And attacks Daniels with his chain wrapped around his hand, as fucking usual. AJ comes out to make the save, so they're clearly setting up Daniels a feud with Shane Douglas. He deserves so much more than this. Fuck off, Shane Douglas. I mean, come on, you've retired. Why can't wrestlers just stay retired? I want Chris Jericho to come to TNA with his whole I hate legends gimmick and just euthanize, to use his word, all these idiots in TNA. Kevin Nash and Scott Steiner and all that crap. But anyway, all in all, it was pretty good. It was not as good as it should have been because of all the segments, and I'm sure you can see that with the way I've enumerated them. There's about 10 or something. But the matches were pretty good, and the 2 main promos were good. So it was okay. Please feel free to rate, comment, share your views, and yeah, subscribe if you wish. Okay, bye.